So I'm back in Philly, and the NFL season ended on a high note as my Giants embarrassed the Eagles. The local fans were very quiet on Monday. Now this is officially our first market wrap of 2024, and there was lots of news in the industry this past week, and it mostly had to do with changes going on with many of the primary brands. I always pay very close attention to the direction of the new brands, as moves they make can have a dramatic effect on the secondary market. We've seen many brands restructure their distribution strategies, pricing strategies, catalog improvements, and trying to understand the direction of these brands is imperative to get a feel of where their secondary market may go. It is not unusual to see changes at the top of brands as the new year hits, and the first piece of news came from LVMH. First of all, Frédéric Arnault was named CEO of LVMH Watches. He was previously the CEO of TAG Heuer since 2017. He's the 29-year-old son of the chairman of LVMH, and by all accounts, he's done an exceptional job at TAG. He took over the brand in 2017, made many bold moves, including substantially raising the average price point, created a long-term partnership with Porsche, and streamlined the distribution, and brought out some great vintage-inspired introductions. It's estimated that TAG Heuer's sales are quickly approaching the $1 billion watch club. His new role is a new position that will oversee Hublot, TAG Heuer, and Zenith. Now, Julien Tournal was the CEO of Zenith since 2017. He was now appointed new CEO of TAG Heuer. Benoit de Klerk, an industry veteran and most recently Chief Commercial Officer at Panerai, becomes head of Zenith, and Richard Guadalupe will remain CEO of Hublot, and they will all report to Frédéric Arnault. Now let's take a quick look at the brands. TAG has been extremely successful and has positioned themselves as one of the biggest players in the $3,000 to $10,000 space. They've done a great job strengthening their position in the market, and I expect they're on a great track to continue that. Now, Hublot is a very interesting brand. For many years, they were cutting edge in the market and built a very strong brand over a very short period of time. But over the past 5 years, they've become looked down upon in the market as they've focused on the same and limited edition fever, and it's kind of worn off with many collectors. Many serious collectors are not fans of Hublot, but according to Morgan Stanley, they still do $800 million in business. It'll be interesting to see if the oversight of Frédéric Arnault can restore the reputation of the brand. I believe they need a repositioning in the market, new distribution, and certainly some revamping of the product. In the overall market, Hublot is still very young. It only started in 1980. And while today the brand may not have the best reputation, they are widely known and it could present a huge opportunity for a turnaround. Now, Zenith is another very interesting brand. According to Morgan Stanley, they had sales of only $130 million. Now, interestingly enough, they have a very good reputation as a movement maker, and the El Primero is still regarded as one of the most iconic movements in the industry. Now that they've produced their own collections, Chronomaster was hot for a while, but it's cooled off. The question is whether such a stellar reputation and exceptional value at a great price point, why they have not seen more success. I believe that Frédéric could really grow this brand tremendously if they put enough support behind it. Now, the most interesting change in the industry officially went into effect January 1st, when Ilaria Resta takes over as CEO of Audemars Piguet. Now, this is very interesting on a few levels. First of all, a woman CEO of a major Swiss brand is still rare, but more importantly, it's that she is from outside the industry. Now, almost all the executives of watch brands are industry insiders, oftentimes recycled from other brands. It's like NFL coaches moving around from team to team. To have a true outsider come in from the cosmetics industry will be very interesting to see how she can affect the market. Now, the second part of the story is who she is replacing. Francois-Henry Bennahmias is a legendary CEO who was with AP for 30 years. He was one of the most recognizable CEOs in the industry, part showmaker, part visionary marketer. He took the helm of AP when it was a sleepy brand and made it the hippest watch brand, connecting with celebrities, musicians, and athletes to build the brand into prominence. He reinvented the Royal Oak, streamlined the collection, and changed the industry distribution model that was in place for a century before. AP captivated the industry, raised the profile of the brand to a level never seen in the watch industry. He made AP hip, hot, and selling at crazy valuations. Now the downside, the secondary market of AP has crashed harder than most brands, but it's hard to blame a market bubble on Francois. He also launched the code 1159 and stuck with it in the face of market criticism. Now, love him or hate him, he will be a difficult act to follow, as Ilaria really is following a legend, but also will be leading a brand with much greater prominence than it ever had. I can't wait to see how she does and where Francois ends up, as I am sure he will not go quietly into the sunset.